Ministre Amadou Hott, Excellence Ministre Ndeye Saly Diop Dieng, Excellences, Madame, Monsieur Ambassadeurs, distingués invités, chers amis, chers collègues, ma profonde gratitude au gouvernement et au peuple sénégalais pour votre accueil très chaleureux dans cette belle ville de Dakar, patrie des champions du football africain, les Lions de Teranga, mais aussi patrie de court pour moi. I am so excited to be with you. Today, we launch UNFPA's flagship report entitled State of World Population 2022, Seeing the Unseen, the Case for Action in the Neglected Crisis of Unintended Pregnancy. The report finds that nearly half of all pregnancies in this world are unintended, nearly half, amounting to 121 million pregnancies every year. For the woman affected, the most life-altering reproductive choice, whether or not to become pregnant, is no choice at all. In our world today, available data reveal that nearly a quarter of all women are unable to say no to sex. Nearly a quarter are unable to make decisions about their own health care. Unintended pregnancies come at a cost to individual women and girls, to their families, and to societies. The report sounds the alarm that too often unintended pregnancies result in unsafe abortion, a major cause of maternal death, and are linked to worse health, lost education, lost income, and increased family hardship. Marginalized women and girls, especially those living in poverty, face escalating risks. Someone like Mamusu in Sierra Leone, who was desperate to continue her education. An older man promised to pay her school fees. She agreed, only he made her pregnant at age 14, and the consequences were swift. She was blamed, she lost all support, she was shunned by her community. Yes, Mamusu's story shows us that unintended pregnancy may be a personal issue that disrupts lives and futures. Yet it is also a development issue, one that impacts health systems and the welfare of entire societies. Let us remember that the devastating ripple effects of crushing poverty don't stop at that girl's doorstep, nor at her country's borders. We are all poorer for it. Global development threatened because of it. Unintended pregnancy is strongly correlated with gender inequality and lower socioeconomic development. Unintended pregnancy costs billions of dollars in increased health system expenditures and affects the prosperity of future generations. It's a crisis everywhere that we must open our eyes to see. Let us look to successful interventions within the region. What works? Education, skills building, and empowerment programs for women and girls, counseling and comprehensive sexuality education, and better access to modern contraceptive methods and family planning services. Such actions can produce real change. Mamusu in Sierra Leone now receives the support she did not get as a girl. Advised by a mentor from a local NGO, she started a small business and has resumed her education, and her dream is to become a nurse. I must emphasize that the burden of addressing this crisis should not fall on the shoulders of the women who experience unintended pregnancy. That's a responsibility that belongs to me, to you, to all of us. It's up to all of us to act. At the International Conference on Population and Development, the ICPD, in Cairo in 1994, World leaders, including African Union member states, adopted a landmark program of action. The ICPD program of action imagined a future in which every pregnancy would be by choice and where adolescents would have access to the information and services they need to avoid early childbearing. Since the Cairo ICPD in 1994, access to family planning in Africa improved. In West and Central Africa, family planning access tripled from 6% to 18%, for example. Progress, yes, but still far too low to accommodate women's demands. To achieve the ambitions of the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030 and the Africa we want by 2063, we have to step up the pace. UNFPA strategy calls for 3 transformative results by 2030: 0 unmet need for family planning, 0 preventable maternal deaths, and 0 violence and harmful practices against women and girls, including an end to female genital mutilation and child marriage, with quality population data and census data helping us to zero in and reach those in greatest need. These 3 zeros definitely are achievable. They definitely would yield a major return on investment. Every dollar invested in ending preventable maternal deaths and unmet need for family planning brings in nearly $9 in economic benefits by 2050. Distinguished guests, dear friends, each one of us, or someone next to us, has a story to tell about unintended pregnancy. The topic is real, it's relevant for every woman and girl, every man and boy, for everyone in every family, community, society, and government. And there is good news. There is a wealth of information, knowledge, and services to help us better plan our families, to respect women's choices, and save lives. The challenge is, how do we remove the roadblocks of stigma, fear, shame, poverty, and gender inequality? First, we must work harder and smarter to reduce gender inequality, and the rights of women and girls are at the heart of the matter. Second, policies and programs must emphasize investment to ensure access to a broad range of contraceptives and quality sexual and reproductive health care. Third, as we have seen, young people desperately need correct information about sexuality and reproduction. Don't blame her. Don't deny her. Don't reject her. Help her. As the proverb goes, mag de fagandiku, and better said, niet de fagandiku. Let us educate our young people so that they can articulate their rights and choices and respect their partners. Put young people first. Fourth, it is time to raise up the value of women and girls. When nearly half of all pregnancies in this world are unintended, how can society claim to fully value the potential of women beyond their reproductive capacities? Is motherhood truly valued when it is regarded as an inevitability? It is time to empower women to be able to make reproduction their deliberate choice. It is time to recognize the true value of a 10-year-old girl, beyond and inclusive of motherhood. And finally, and critically, more men and boys need to step up. Let's appreciate that men must share in the responsibilities of family planning and parenting, respect and uphold the rights of women and girls. When men do so, everyone benefits, men and boys too. Girls and women have a human right to decide when, whether, if they want to become pregnant, and with whom to have a child. Let us work together, hand in hand, to make pregnancy an aspiration, not an inevitability. Merci beaucoup, Thank you. Adelante.